It's about time this guy got a shot in a Red Sox uniform. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Seat Radio. My name is Corbin. The Boston Red Sox youth movement continues as they try and continue to get some of their pieces up here for tomorrow, today, and their most recent one was a guy who really has a chance of being an impact player for the Boston Red Sox for years to come. So what we are going to do in today's video is we're going to break this guy down. We're going to talk about why they promoted him. We're going to talk about what he's been doing in AAA and what he could potentially look like on the Boston Red Sox. Thank you all very much for clicking on this video. Let's get into it. So for those of you who may not be super familiar with what we are talking about just yet, rumor has it today the Boston Red Sox are going to be calling up their number 3 overall pitching prospect and their number 12 overall prospect in general, Richard Fitz, up to the major league level. Now, rumor has it there is a very good chance that he is going to be pitching not only at the major league level at some point, but in today's game. In fact, it's more likely than not Richard Fitz is going to be the starter for the series finale against the Chicago White Sox. Now, it hasn't been confirmed yet whether he's going to be a starter or a reliever, at least at the time of this recording. I'm sure by the time this comes out, all the information that I don't have will immediately be available, and all of that will be in the pinned section in the comment section down below. But I really don't think Fitz gives a damn about what role he's going to end up in at the big league level. I think just the fact that he's going to be finally stepping on the mounds at Fenway Park is really all that he cares about, and he absolutely deserves it because he has been really solid for the Woo Sox this season. Now, we've actually talked with and talked about Richard Fitz a couple of times on this channel. The most recent time we've talked about Fitz was actually earlier this week, because earlier this week we made a video speaking about just how good Richard Fitz has been for the Woo Sox lately. Now, overall, the season statistics are still a little bit rough. It's a 4.17 ERA with a 4.86 FIP. However, his last month and a half-ish have been absolutely fantastic. The dude has absolutely exploded, and by exploded, I mean flat out dominated. It's a 2.54 ERA in his last 7 starts, dating all the way back to his last start in July. That is also good for a 0.92 whip, which is great. It means he is allowing less than one batter via the hit or walk to reach first base every inning he pitches on average. Basically, what I'm saying is, over that stretch, there really hasn't been a whole lot of traffic, and a big reason for that, and the big standout statistic for Richard Fitz recently, has been his command over his arsenal. In that time span, he has been walking just 3.3% of the batters he is facing, which is a fantastic adjustment on the season. On top of keeping the ball in the zone, he's also been getting a lot of swing and miss. About a quarter of the batters he is facing recently are whiffing at the plate. His strikeout rate during that time span has been exactly 25.8%, which means over the last month and a half-ish, he's striking out 8 batters to every 1 batter he walks. That is an absolutely fantastic ratio, and it's one of the biggest things the Red Sox were focusing with him on in his time during AAA. When we spoke to him at the beginning of this season, one of the things he mentioned with the Red Sox, and sort of like a new strategy for him, was to be able to throw his off-speed pitches in the zone for strikes. It took him a little bit of time to get there, but now that he has gotten there, he's been able to limit a ton of damage in his last 7 starts, and in those last 7 starts, he's also going pretty deep into games. 5 of the 7 of those starts have been for quality outings, 6 innings or 3 or less runs. Now, what I did want to do on top of just talking about Richard Fitz is I want to throw in a clip from our most recent interview with him where he talks about why he's been seeing the success that he's seeing on the mound right now. If you want to watch the full interview, I'll link that video in the description down below. But here is the snippet of what Richard Fitz had to say in terms of what he's been doing to see the success on the mound lately.
All right, so you guys know who this is. Been on the channel before, Richard Fitz. And Rich, you've had one hell of an August. What's been going on in August that you've seen the success from?
Yeah, just really been competing out there. Going out there and trying to win every ball game and give our offense the best chance that we got to win. And, you know, ultimately I've been trying all year to get those wins, but this month it's just kind of felt a little bit different. Had a little bit more of that dog in me a little bit, as you can say, but no, it just felt good. I feel like all my stuff's in a really good spot right now where I can get it done for whoever I need to.
So is there anything you're working on behind the scenes mechanically that has led to this, or is it more so just a mindset? I'm going to go out there, like you said, have that dog in me. I'm going to do my thing on the mound. It's been working out.
Yeah, honestly, the mindset's just a big part of it. You know, the Olympics came on, and I started watching that like every day, and that was going. I'm still watching it to this day.
Really?
Like, I recorded like everything that was going on. I still watch it pretty much every day. So like just that mindset of going out and competing, watching those athletes compete for their country in front of the whole world is pretty cool.
So what's the sport you're watching?
I was watching everything from swimming to climbing to rowing to literally anything.
Pardon the interruption, folks, but I did want to take a second and say if you are enjoying this video, do me a favor. Make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. It just helps these videos out a ton, and it's the best way you can let me know you're enjoying the content. Thank you all very much for taking a second and doing so. Again, I apologize for the interruption. Let's get back to the video. As you can tell, I'm pretty excited about this promotion for Richard Fitz, not only because he is a fantastic person and human being and absolutely deserves a shot at the major league level, but for the Red Sox for a couple of different reasons. The first one is because this is absolutely what the Red Sox should be doing at this point in the season. You've got the ability to get some of these younger guys up here who could give you a glimpse of what you have to come over this coming season, as well as this offseason as well. Utilizing this time to figure out some of those steps that you're going to have to take once the season ends is absolutely a smart idea. It gives you a bit of a head start on what your strategy is going to be going into the offseason and whether or not these guys are going to play a big part of it. The second reason is because I do think Richard Fitz has the potential to be a legitimate impact player on this Red Sox team. Now, I'm not talking about a frontline starting pitcher or anything, but I am talking about a potential back to mid-end type rotation guy at his highest ceiling, and a lot of that has to do with his pitch arsenal. We talked about the fact that he has really limited his walks this last month and a half, but during that time, he's utilized his pitch arsenal to really get a lot of swing and misses as well. We're talking about a fastball that tops out around 98 miles an hour. It could be a really big pitch for him. A slider that has been a big emphasis this season from the organization, something they really wanted him to focus on shape-wise and control-wise. That drops to around 88 miles per hour. Now, Sox Prospects describes it as more of a slurve than a slider, which is interesting, but either way, this season, he's really been working on getting that to a place that it really misses bats, and so far, again, especially over these last 7 starts, he's been pretty successful at it. On top of that, he also has a changeup, which again, has been a major point of emphasis by the organization for Fitz this season. He's really improved on it in 2024. It's much more consistent. It's much more controllable. It definitely isn't his best pitch, but he has utilized it recently to get some swing and misses, and there is a cutter in there somewhere. I know he talked about it in one of our interviews, but I haven't really seen a ton of usage from it. Sox Prospects hasn't seen a ton of usage from it, so could be interesting to see if they just simply X-nay the cutter once he gets to the major league level. But what we're talking about here is a pitch arsenal that could end up working out pretty well in a starter role, especially if they want to use him in that 4 or 5 spot in this rotation going forward. Now, the other thing that I wanted to point out about Richard Fitz is the fact that he is a bit of a workhorse for the Woo Sox in terms of AAA level, right? Obviously, for the Woo Sox, they don't really let guys go super deep into games, but for Richard Fitz, again, over his last 7 games, he's averaging over 5 innings pitched, and again, 5 out of 7 of those, he's reached the 6th inning in, so you can get a whole lot of innings from a guy like Richard Fitz, and even if he doesn't end up reaching true starter status at the major league level, we're talking about a guy who has the potential to be a pretty high impact reliever for the Red Sox as well. This could end up being a guy who they say, look, we're just going to have you focus on making sure that fastball stays around 98, 99 miles an hour with a wipeout slider, and all of a sudden you've got a pretty solid long relief type option in the bullpen going forward, which is obviously going to be really important. One of the biggest emphasis the Red Sox are going to have to place this offseason is what their bullpen structure is going to look like going forward, and getting a glimpse of this before the season ends, in my opinion, is really important. Now, there are 2 concerns that I have with Richard Fitz getting called up to Major League Baseball. The first one is the fact that he has been giving up a pretty decent amount of home runs. If you notice, in his last 7 games, the FIP is much higher than his ERA, and it's not because he's giving up walks, it's because of the fact that he's had at least 1 home run in every single appearance he has made in those 7 games, which, I mean, kind of fits the Red Sox perfectly overall, but it is definitely something to pay attention to at the Major League level. And speaking of the Major League level, the other concern I have with this move is why it was made. Alex Cora announced yesterday that the reason they are calling Fitz up today and the reason that Bayo was pushed a day in his start is because of the fact that Tanner Houck didn't fare too well in his recovery from his last start. So that's definitely something to pay attention to for sure. Hopefully it doesn't turn into anything super major. Alex Cora didn't seem all that concerned about it. Seemed like they just wanted to give him an extra day to really sort of make sure that his recovery process is done properly. It doesn't sound like it's going to be an IL stint or anything, but it's definitely something to keep your eye on. Now, obviously, there are going to have to be other moves made to get Richard Fitz onto this 28-man roster. He's not on the 40-man roster, which means a couple of things may happen. In my opinion, the more realistic scenario, again, at the time of this recording, I don't know what the exact move is going to be, but in my opinion, it's probably going to be either Luis Garcia or Lucas Sims transferred over to the 60-day IL. That way they can avoid trying to DFA one of the guys on their 40-man for the last couple of weeks of the season. If they can't do that, then I would guess it's probably a guy like Bailey Horn who's going to get the DFA to get Richard Fitz up here. And then on top of that, you also got to fit him on the 28-man roster. So I would guess you're probably going to option a guy like Chase Sugart, who pitched last night. He pitched an inning and a third. It's nothing super crazy, but he is the most recent player to pitch. He is also a guy with options left. That would be my guess as to who's getting called down. But again, I don't have any confirmation on that. And like I said earlier, once I do get all that information, that will be pinned in the comment section down below. So if you do want the actual move that was made, take a look in the comment section. Speak of the comment section, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you think about Richard Fitz getting the call to Major League Baseball. Are you excited? Are you nervous? Do you think it was the right move by the Boston Red Sox? And what do you expect from Fitz now that he's a big leaguer? Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor. Make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. Just helps these videos out a ton. It's the best way you can let me know you're enjoying the content. Don't forget, if you want to listen to these episodes instead of watch them, all you got to do is head over to your favorite podcasting app and look up Red Seat Radio. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you in the Red Seats.